Manchester United have got a big boost in terms of injuries. 5 players are set to return in the next few days. Well, actually, 4 players are set to be back after the international break, and Malacia is set to be back soon after the international break. Malacia said to a fan actually 2 days ago that he should be back in about 3 weeks fit. So massive boost there for United, and we will get into that. But we've got more updates on this Jadon Sancho story, which has basically just become boring because it's just 5 weeks of Ten Hag wants an apology. Sancho won't apologise. But Ten Hag has actually demanded to Sancho that he goes and apologises to his teammates and more, which we'll get into. Sancho's got to have a word with his teammates. It's also been said, and there's been leaks coming out, that apparently the attitude is better in the dressing room now that Sancho's gone, and all of that as well. Now, I'm not sure, again, if these leaks are just a character assassination of Sancho or these leaks are genuine, that the dressing room is a better place about Sancho, but lots of boring leaks and stories on Sancho that we will cover. But I more so want to get into the transfer news in today's video. Manchester United looking at a lot of centre-backs. Inacio is one that we've been recently linked with by Fabrizio Romano. Also looking at players like Tolibo, Antonio Silva, Braithwaite, and more, as well as still keeping our eye on Jeremy Frimpong, the right back. So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football. Welcome back to another Manchester United news, transfer news and update show where we're discussing all the latest Manchester United news today. Now I want to start with the latest on injuries, and that is that Varane and Reguilon will be back after the international break. Kobbie Mainoo will be back after the international break, and Amad Diallo should be back. Amad Diallo and Malacia should be back within the coming weeks. Might not be right after the international break, but it should be in that period. It said on Luke Shaw and Martinez, they're still not expected back until at least November, but there should be 5 players expected back in the next 3 weeks, and at least 3 of them should be expected back and able to play after the international break. And as I said in my video the other day, you've got all of a sudden in midfield, we've got Amrabat fit, we've got Mainoo fit, we've also got options like Mejbri available, Donny, Ericsson, McTominay available, Bruno, Casemiro, Mason Mount, Amrabat. We've got all those options in midfield now that we actually have a decent midfield option pool. It's just the defensive injuries that I think are massively costing us. I think Luke Shaw and Martinez are going to be massive misses, especially in build-up. You can see that a lot. But just having players like Varane back and even players like Malacia or Reguilon to play left back will be beneficial because we don't have to play on that position at left back, and we're a much better team with Varane. I think Varane is probably becoming one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. He's the only player to win 100% of his aerial duels this season. I think he's becoming so underrated, Varane, because when he's missing, we're just not the same defensively. Now, I want to get into the Jadon Sancho story. It's essentially said that his Manchester United career is over. And I want to get into some of the things that Erik Ten Hag was trying to get Sancho to do, like apologise to his teammates, which apparently is why Sancho's career is over, because he doesn't want to apologise to his teammates or Ten Hag. But it was said just in, there's a growing feeling at Manchester United that Jadon Sancho's career at the club may already be over. It looks like Sancho's essentially quit Manchester United. He's had 5 weeks to apologise. He won't. I don't think he's going to apologise now. And I said this in my live stream last night. Even if Sancho does apologise today or tomorrow, it almost feels like it's too late. It's like you've waited 5 weeks to apologise and you're going to apologise now. I mean, he would really have to graft, which is, I think, why Erik Ten Hag's told him to apologise to teammates. I think he'd have to apologise to teammates, apologise to fans, apologise to Ten Hag. I think it's been too long of him not apologising and mucking about and playing FIFA and being quite disrespectful, that I think it's past that apology point at this rate. I want him to apologise. I want him back in the squad. I want him to play right wing. I wanted him to play right wing over Antony. But I think when he's been acting like this for 5-6 weeks, refusing to apologise, and you see him fuffing about on FIFA and all of that, and then all the leaks come out, which I don't think some of the leaks are true. I think some leaks are just a way to attack Sancho, but you hear leaks coming out about him being late and him having an attitude problem with this and that, and how the squad seems to be better without him. It's kind of like, I think it's too late to apologise. I think his career's done. I love Sancho, he's one of my favourite players, but if this guy would rather not play for 4 months than apologise to the manager, he's not got Man United's best interest in heart. Because at the end of the day, if you're on 350k a week and you can't play because you don't like the manager and you won't apologise to the manager, it's silly. And a lot of people are backing Sancho over this, of sin, saying why should he apologise? And it's just the principle of it. In any other industry, if you don't like your manager, you have to get on with it or you won't get paid. In this industry, if you don't like your manager, you can have a strop and you still get paid. If he wasn't getting paid, I guarantee you would apologise to Ten Hag. If he, for me, it just shows disrespect towards United fans that he won't apologise, because he just knows that he's getting paid to do nothing. If he really cared about the club, even if he didn't mean it, he'd apologise, because he knows that we probably want him on the right wing and he would try and prove the manager wrong. So I'm so bored of the Sancho situation, in all honesty. It was also said on this story that Erik Ten Hag is demanding that Sancho make both a public apology and say sorry in front of his teammates before he can return to the squad, a stance which has the full backing of his employers. But 5 weeks after the Arsenal game, there's no sign of this approach. But it's also been said that not only does Ten Hag want an apology from Sancho, he wants Sancho to apologise to teammates. And at first I thought, oh, really? Like, he's got to apologise to the teammates now? Is a bit harsh. Just accept the apology from Sancho and bring him back. This whole thing has got out of hand. Like, I think Ten Hag wanted an apology so bad. I get why that's a bit annoying for Sancho. Like, and I get why Sancho doesn't want to do that, but at the same time, it's just an apology. It's so petty. Just apologise. It's such a petty situation, and he doesn't seem interested in apologising. And now Ten Hag's asked him to apologise to his teammates, which again you can say sounds petty, and it does. But at the same time, if I was Ten Hag, I'd want him to apologise to my teammates. If I was one of Sancho's teammates, I'd be annoyed because he's been stropping and not helping us. So Sancho's been told if he wants to come back, he's also got to apologise to teammates now. And while at first I thought that was petty, at the same time I'm like, you know what, fair enough, because he's not been a good teammate. He's just stropped. He's caused problems in the dressing room, and all of that as well. Now, it was also said by Matt Hughes that United will look to offload Sancho in January after being told by Ten Hag that he is disruptive influence on the club's other players. It looks like United are desperate to offload Sancho in January because he's disruptive on other players. And apparently Erik Ten Hag is understood to have told the club that the attitude of the other players in training has improved since Sancho was exiled. And this is according to Matt Hughes of the Daily Mail, that Ten Hag has told those at the club that Sancho was a distraction and that the attitude of players has improved since Sancho was exiled. Again, maybe there's some truth in that, maybe there's not. I do think sometimes leaks just come out to try and attack Sancho, and it could just be a brief thing from the Glazers to try and get fans to turn on Sancho and all of that. And I do sometimes feel like the media is probably using leaks as an opportunity to gang up on Sancho. But at the same time, I think Sancho's attitude he's shown over this whole incident, not playing, not apologising, all the things that have come out recently about his time at Dortmund, City, and even England, about him causing problems when he wasn't playing, he'd have a strop. The fact that we're only 4 games into the season when he had a strop. So yes, you didn't start the opening 4 games, but we're 4 games into the season. Wan-Bissaka to wait till December to get a chance. You've got to look at all of those things. I actually think, you know what, Sancho is just being a big baby. I do. I think he's being a big baby. So I think there's a lot of reason to believe those leaks that maybe he was a bad influence in the dressing room. Maybe the players are better in training, but now he's not here. Maybe there is truth in that. But at the same time, I just don't like those kind of stories and those kind of leaks coming out slamming one of our players, even though he's been poor, just because I sometimes feel that maybe the Glazers like those kind of stories coming out, so everyone will turn on Sancho instead of turn on them. But I want to get into the transfer news now. There's enough of talking about Jadon Sancho. I want to talk about centre-backs that United are looking at signing. We've been looking at signing a few centre-backs, and here are some of the names. It said that, and Romano has just said now, he's tweeted this just now, that he understands that Man United have also added Gonzalo Inacio to their list of centre-backs that's now being monitored for scouting. They've got Silva, Todibo and Tapsoba on that list as well. But he said there's no final decision now. Man United are going to take their time based on the players' skills, reports, price and more. Now, I like Gonzalo Inacio. If I was going to pick a sporting centre-back, it would be Demond, but I do like Inacio. However, he's a left-footed centre-back. He's a left centre-back. And I think with Varane's injury record and Varane being older and Varane ultimately being the guy we're looking to replace, I would say that a right centre-back would be better. In an ideal world, we'd sign Antonio Silva and then we'd end up getting another centre-back. Maybe it could be Inacio, maybe it could be Demonde, maybe it could be Todibo, maybe it could be Tapsoba. I think in an ideal world, we sign 2 centre-backs. I think United need 2 centre-backs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they only sign 1 centre-back. I do like Inacio, but he is a left centre-back. He is left-footed, and I think United really need someone for that Varane role. So my first choice would probably be Antonio Silva, but I am a big fan of Todibo, Tapsoba, Demond, Inacio, and I think we need 2 centre-backs. And if we can be linked and buy 2 of the about 5 centre-backs we've been linked to, I'd be very happy. But also looking at Braithwaite at Everton, I hope we sign 2 centre-backs this summer, though. And I am a big fan of Inacio. I think he's a great player. But I do think Tapsoba, Todibo and Silva are more standout players on that list. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of it will come down to price. I think United will want whoever they think is the best price or the cheapest. And a big part of that actually could just be on ownership. If the Glazers aren't here and we do have Qatar, then I think we could get 2. And I think we could go for Antonio Silva because he's more pricey. But if the Glazers are here, I think we go for whoever's the cheapest, unfortunately, as well. But anyway, people, I hope you enjoyed today's video. We've got one last story coming in on Frimpong here that I almost forgot to read out. So Let me get into the Frimpong news here. It was said by Fabrizio Romano that United are still considering signing Frimpong for the future. The player wants to return to English football at some point. So it said, although we didn't end up signing him in January or in the summer, like speculated that we were going to sign Frimpong, he's doing great at Bayer Leverkusen, by the way. It is said that the player one day hopes to return to England. United obviously had an interest in this guy, looked at this guy for a while. So there is a feeling sort of out there that he will maybe come back to England and that maybe United will go back in for him. Anyway, smash a like, smash a subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.